I do believe Alicia's talking to him.
Okay.
Bert's joining shortly.
Okay. What about Vijay? Have we heard from Vijay?
He has got COVID, so
Yeah.
he's not been very well with it. I do know that.
He made last night's meeting. I just wondered if he was okay. Well, I make it 7:30, so I think we'll make a start. Right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Hythe Boroughs Town Council virtual meeting. There are a few housekeeping things to note. As with meetings in the town hall, members of the public will be given the opportunity to speak during public participation, but will not be permitted to speak at other times, and their microphones will be muted. The clerk has the ability to mute or remove anyone who does cause a nuisance, but of course we hope this won't be necessary. It is impossible to hear if everybody speaks at once. So that we have some order, I'd be grateful if you would speak one at a time and raise your hand if you'd like to speak. Voting will be by raising your hand. The meeting is being recorded. We're going to start tonight's meeting with prayers led by Reverend Michelle Dalliston.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you for this day that has been, and for those with whom we have shared it, for all that we have done, and for grace to let go of all that has not yet been completed. Bless all our endeavours, especially this meeting tonight. Guide us in our discussions, enlighten our minds in every decision that we make. Give us your grace, that we may do what is needed for the benefit of those we serve in these difficult times. Bless our mayor and officers of the council. Bless our councillors and all who are here tonight. Help us as we work together. And bless our community, our families, and our homes. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Item 2 on the agenda is apologies. To receive and accept apologies for absence. Do we have any apologies, Sandra?
Yeah, Councillor Anna Swanson, Councillor Derek Lawson, Councillor David Hamblin, and Councillor Vijay Paul.
Thank you. Item 3 on the agenda, the declarations of interest. To receive declarations of disposable pecuniary interests and other interests and the nature of those interests relating to items on the agenda. Has anybody got anything that they wish to declare? I think that Councillor Jackson.
Thank you. First of all, apologies for being late. I'm terribly sorry, and thanks to Alicia. And obviously, I should give my normal declarations of interest because of being a member of East Northants. Thank you.
Thank you. But can you just move your camera down slightly because we can't see very much? Thank you. That's better. I can see you now. Just on the top of your head.
It was rather a rushed entrance. I do apologise.
Right. That's okay. Item 4 on the agenda are minutes. To approve and sign as the correct record the minutes of the meeting held on the 26th of January 2021. You'll find these minutes on pages 1 to 7 in your agenda pack. Has everybody had a chance to check the minutes? And do you agree that they can be signed? Councillor Whiting, are you proposing that we can sign them? And could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Gardner, and all those in favour, would you please show your hands? Right, thank you. Right. Thank you. Item 5 on the agenda is the public forum, to allow any member of the public to address the meeting for a period of no longer than 3 minutes each. If the item raised by the member of the public is not on the agenda, the clerk will advise how the issue will be addressed. No decisions can be taken under this item. Sandra, do we have anybody wishing to speak at the meeting?
We've got Hilary and Rebecca Dorr in the meeting, so they may wish to speak.
Do you
Yes,
wish
please.
to speak, Hilary?
Yeah.
Right. Thank
Yes,
you.
please.
Is it Hilary or Rebecca?
Hilary.
Hilary, right. Thank
Hilary.
you.
Hello. Good evening.
Good
I would
evening.
like to thank the I would like to thank the council for presenting the evidence of the code regarding the head at number 10 and for the prompt delivery of the letters that we had. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hilary. Thank you. Item 6 on the agenda are Mayor's announcements, to receive a verbal report from the Mayor. So it's my report for February 2021. It won't surprise you to hear that I haven't attended any function, nor indeed have I hosted any this month. However, I'd like to update you on a Zoom meeting that Alicia and I had with Paul Valentine, who is the Liaison Officer for Highways England A45 Chowns Mill improvement. The meeting was called to discuss the progress with the 3 giant chairs that are going to be sited at Nightingale Way play area. There are 3 large trunks, approximately 6 foot by 4 foot. The wood carver, Carrie Hewen, has designed some outline ideas for each chair. One is a giant acorn with an oak leaf. 2 is a giant conker with a horse chestnut leaf, and a nut cluster with a hazel leaf. I have some photographs. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that. That is the acorn, and this is the front, and that being the back. No, it's the back that we're going to actually refer to. So we're proposing to run a school competition where children can produce their own drawings and ideas that can be carved into the leaves on the back of the chairs. The schools will have their name carved onto the front of the chair. The competition will be judged by Carrie and myself the week beginning March the 22nd, and it is hoped that the chairs will be installed in the play area in April. Right, thank you. Item 7 on the agenda is the Town Clerk's report. To receive and note the Town Clerk's report, which is on pages 8 to 12 in your agenda pack. Has anybody got any questions that they wish to raise with the Town Clerk about the report? No? In that case, could I have somebody who will propose that we receive the report? Thank you, Councillor Prigmore. And Councillor Thomas, would you second that, please? And all those in favour, would you please show hands? I think that's everybody, thank you. Right, item 8 on the agenda are questions. It's an opportunity for councillors to ask questions pursuant to Standing Order 9. Questions must relate to business of the Town Council and not be related to items of business on the agenda. Every question shall be put and answered without discussion. Has anybody got a question that they wish to raise? Right, thank you. Item 9 on the agenda are reports of representatives to other bodies. To receive reports from councillors on meetings they have attended as representatives to other bodies. I believe, Councillor Gardner, you're going to have a report here.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I've got 2 things to report. Today I attended a Y representation in local councils matters, and this was delivered by ANCALC, and that was all about promoting equality, diversity and listening to our community and being relevant. And this was all about including different members from our community, and we were thinking about upcoming elections and how that can impact and bringing people from no matter your race, your creed, your belief, and bringing them all together to make new councils and how councils are going to start looking in the future. It was really, really interesting, and I'm really glad I attended. On Saturday evening, 20th of February, I had my monthly walk round with PCSO Stephanie Bacon, and it was lovely to see High and Quiet. It was at 7 o'clock in the evening, and there was not a soul to be seen, and it was really good, and it just showed that everybody was adhering to guidelines and the information out there, so that was really good. She is currently investigating a spate of egg, I say attacks is the only word I can use. They are going from all the way to the top of Kimbolton Road to Roman Way. There has been some down School Lane. It's a group of youths. They have been identified, and that is being dealt with. But if anyone knows of any eggings, as they say, or anything like that, could you please report it to 101? That'd be fab. Thank you very much. On our walk around, a local takeaway was observed, and they were not wearing masks in the takeaway at all, and there was no social distancing. This has gone on to be reported to East North Hants. Thank you very much. That's my report. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Gardner. Right. Item 10 on the agenda is reports from district councillors and county councillor, to receive written reports from the ward district councillors and the county councillor. But thank you very much for sending the report. Has anybody got any questions that they would like to raise with Councillor Jackson about his report? Right, thank you. Thank you. Item 11 on the agenda is finance, and 11.1 is to approve the accounts for payments as the 23rd of February 2021, which is on page 13 in your agenda pack. Have we all had a chance to look at this? Has anybody got any comments they wish to make? So could somebody propose that we approve the accounts, please? Councillor Prigmore and Councillor Thomas second it. All those in favour, would you please show hands? Thank you. Item 11.2 is to approve the bank account reconciliation as at the 31st of January 2021. Councillor Whiting.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I've checked the figures, and as usual, they're penny perfect. So I will drop them into the town hall tomorrow.
Right,
Thank
you. Could we have a seconder, please? Councillor Gardner, and all those in favour, would you please show hands? Right, thank you. Item 11.3 is to receive and note the budget report as at the 31st of January 2021, which is on page 14 to page 18 in your agenda pack. Has anybody got any comments that they wish to make on the budget report? Councillor Prigmore, is your hand up? No, it's just your virtual hand that's on there. Right, thank you. Right, 11.4.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, can we just
Sorry.
vote to receive
yes,
and note
yes.
that?
Yes, sorry. Could I have a proposer to receive and note the budget, please? Thank you, Councillor Redding, and seconded by Councillor Spencer. All those in favour, would you please show hands? Right, sorry, Clark. And 11.4 is to approve the following expenditure, which is on page 19 of the Rushden Reporter half-page advert renewal at £180 per month. Have we got any comments that anybody wishes to make about this? Councillor Whiting.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I think we should carry on with this. They usually give us quite a good coverage, and anything we want to advertise, they advertise. And I'd like to propose that we carry on with it.
Thank you. Councillor Jackson was seconded. All those in favour, would you please show hands? Right, I think that's everybody. Thank you. Item 12 on the agenda are committee meetings, and 12.1 is to receive and adopt the minutes of the following committees. The Planning and Development Committee held on the 9th of February 2021, which is on page 20 to 21 in your agenda pack. And Councillor Gardner, you're going to present the minutes to us.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. To receive the notes of the Planning and Development Committee held on Tuesday, the 9th of February. Have a proposer, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to take you all straight down to 5.1, which is planning. It's 20/01662/FUL, which is the installation of external air source heat pump and roof slope mounted photovoltaic panels on the Methodist Church at High Street, Hyme Ferries. And the council made no objection on the application, subject to satisfactory noise assessment information being submitted and any necessary noise mitigation being agreed. Next one down is 20/01610/FUL, which was a single-storey extension at 9 Kingsmeadow Lane, and that no comments or objections be made. 21/00005/FUL, which was the garage conversion of 1 Peckham Way, Hyme Ferries, and that no comments or objections be made. 21/00061/FUL, which was the erection of a 2-storey side extension and conversion of existing garage to habitable space, including installation of new bifold doors to south elevation, and this was a resubmission at 72 Windermere Drive in Hyme Ferries. And that the council support the reasons for the objection from the local highway authority and raise their own objection due to the inadequate parking arrangements. The next one was 21/00085/FUL, which was the removal and replacement of existing refrigeration and AC plants in the rear service yard, new task lighting to service yard and plant area, reinstatement of shop front where door removed at 26 High Street in Hyme Ferries. And that the objection be made to the application. The comments from Environmental Protection are noted and supported. They are a requirement for noise and lighting assessment to be undertaken. As part of the internal refit, the existing entrance is also to be used as a point of exit and entrance of the door, and that will be removed and a glazed window installed. During the COVID pandemic, the need for social distances has altered the way we view the layout to access our retail units. The closure of the current exit point and the proposal to combine entrance and exit is not considered practical, nor in keeping with the need to ensure social distancing at the present time. The proposal is therefore not considered to be in the best interest of public safety within the shop and the pavement area at the front of the shop. 5.2 was to receive the tree works, all listed there. And item number 6 was items to report. And that was Councillor O'Rourke sought guidance on what action to be taken where vehicles that parked on the street are particularly on the grass verges. And this was round the toll bar area. And the clerk said that the Town Council had no powers of enforcement and similar queries had been made at Windmill Banks over the parking. The clerk circulated an email response from Highways regarding the matter that sets out all the challenges that we have with people parking on the verges. Do I have any questions before I move adoption of the minutes, please? No, thank you. Can I please then ask for adoption of the minutes of the Planning and Development Committee? Thank you very much. Can I have a show of hands, please? Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Gardner. Right. 12.2, the Policy and Resources Committee held on the 9th of February 2021, which is on pages 22 to 27 in your agenda pack. I propose that we receive the minutes of the Policy and Resources Committee on the 9th of February. Could I have a seconder, please?
Second.
Thank you. And all those in favour, would you please show hands? Thank you. Item 5 refers to the risk assessments, that the report on the risk assessments and the financial risk assessment attached to the minutes be approved. The minor changes agreed at the meeting are highlighted. You'll find those on pages 24, 25 and 27 in your agenda pack. They're highlighted in red. Has anybody got any questions that they'd like to ask about the changes? All right. But I propose that we accept the recommendations for the risk assessments. Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Redding. And all those in favour, would you please show hands? Right, I think that's everybody. Thank you. The second one that we need to look at tonight is the review of the council internal controls, which is item 6 on the policy and resources agenda. That having carried out the annual review of the council's internal controls and internal audit procedures, that the documents be adopted. Could I have a proposer, please? Thank you, Councillor Thomas. And could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Redding. And all those in favour, would you please show your hands? Right, thank you. And the next one to look at is the appointment of independent internal auditor, which is item 9 on the policy and resources. That NCALC Internal Audit Service be appointed as independent internal auditor for 2021 to 22. For 2022 to 23, alternative options are to be considered. Has anybody got any questions about that recommendation? All right. In that case, I propose that we appoint the independent internal auditor for 21-22, and that NCALC are asked to audit it. Could I have a seconder, please?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. And all those in favour, would you please show hands? Thank you. Is anybody against that? I'm not sure if Councillor Smithers is still with us or not. Right.
I have noted that, so.
You have to, yeah, okay.
I'm not sure if he's there.
No, but I think everybody else proposed for
You
it.
still, yeah, you still got a majority, so.
Okay, thank you. Right, and the next that we looked at was the review of policies. That the sickness, absence policy, retirement policy, safeguarding policy, equal opportunities policy, financial regulations be reviewed without change. That the standing orders be amended as follows. In items 3.1, if the items raised by the member of public is not on the agenda, the clerk will advise how the issue will be addressed. That is a very slight change. So could I propose that we accept the review of those policies as written. Could I have a seconder?
Second that.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. And all those in favour, would you please show hands? Right, thank you. Right. I would like to propose that the minutes of the Policy and Resources Committee held on the February the 9th are to be adopted. Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Thomas. And all those in favour, would you please show hands? Right, thank you. Item 13 on our agenda is the NCALC in-year internal audit report from 2021. To receive and note the in-year internal audit report for 2021. It's on page 28 in your agenda pack. Has anybody got any comments that they'd like to make on the internal report? I would just like to say thank you to Sandra, because it's yet another good report, and thank you and well done to Sandra. Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Prigmore. And all those in favour, would you please show hands? Right, thank you. Item 14 is the consultation, East Northamptonshire Council, Regulation 19, Local Plan Part 2, to agree a response to Regulation 19 consultation on the Local Plan Part 2, which is on pages 29 and 30 in your agenda pack. Has anybody got any comments they wish to make? Yes, Councillor Prigmore.
To the town clerk, define what a large building is. Can we do we know what the definition of a large building was before this update? And do we also know if any other local plans are looking to include up to 100,000 square feet?
I don't think there was a definition of a large building before, and that's why they've wanted it put in so it's more specific. I don't know the answer to your other question. I will say that we have the planning consultant is drafting up a response to this consultation because it is quite a technical one. It's not about the content of the plan, it's about legal compliance. And some of us have had a meeting with Peter Bone about this issue, and it's quite important that we do respond to this so we get a seat at the table at the public inquiry. And we're already talking about our strategy for when it comes to that stage. And I've talked with Pam, Councillor Whiting as the leader about this, and my suggestion is that I'm delegated the authority to agree with the planning consultant the response that has to go, because it has to go before the next council meeting, but that I do so in consultation with the leader, deputy leader and the chair of planning.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, looking through the consultation form, it is very, very complicated. And it sent me to sleep very, very quickly. But I would like, I did pick out one of them bits in the regulation consultations, and I see that you've put it in as the key changes which affect time ferries. And I think, bearing in mind that what's likely to happen, 100,000 square feet is a B8 building straight away. I think that definitely, can we make sure that is definitely on there, that we will oppose that complete, well, I would like to think that the council would oppose that part and parcel of it, because otherwise, with all the legal jargon that's going to be going on, it's going to be quite easy to miss something as basic as that one sentence.
I think we've already objected in the past to B8s, and I think what this consultation is to say, have they gone through the processes in the right way? Have they met legal compliance? And speaking to the planning consultant previously, the fact that they've added in at a late stage the Rushden East Master Plan as an Appendix 6 is quite a risky process, because as of March last year, it was a standalone document, and then suddenly in the summer it's an appendix. And so there's a lot, I believe there's a lot we can challenge on, but and also obviously before we have made our comments all the way along. So if we comment now and make sure we get a seat at the table at the planning inquiry. And I'm also working with Nigel Cheetham and Philip Toogood, as you know, were chairman and vice chairman. They're also submitting responses, and I'm working with them to make sure they coincide, because we're going to get them to speak at the inquiry as well. Because
Nigel's a ex-planning officer, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And it's quite good that we get residents to talk as well as the council.
Thank you.
We've got a lot of work coming up on this one. I think we're going to, but we need to have if the council wish, we need to fight this as far as we can.
Thank you.
Councillor Whiting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As the town clerk said, we have had a chat with Peter Bone on this and taken his advice. And the way we're working at the moment is all, following his guidance, really. But can I propose that the authority, as the town clerk said, the authority to finalise the response with the planning consultant is delegated to the clerk, who will liaise with the leader
I think Pam's frozen, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Pam, can you repeat that? Can you hear
I'm
us?
still here.
Yeah, sorry, Pam. We got
Yeah, no,
part of it. Could you do that again? Can I propose?
right, okay. Now, can I propose that the authority to finalise this consultation and response is left to the town clerk, who will consult with the planning consultant, the leader, the deputy leader, and the chair of planning.
Right, thank you. Could I have a seconder for that proposal, please? Councillor Prigmore. Sorry, Councillor Gon, did you want to say something, or was that no? Okay, Councillor Prigmore, you're seconding that. Could I have a show of hands, please, for all those in favour of that? Right, thank you. Okay, is that okay with you, Sandra?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Right, okay.
Councillor 15 on, sorry.
Oh,
Item
Councillor
15
Jackson
on the
wanted to say
agenda.
something.
Right.
Madam Mayor,
Sorry.
I had been trying to say something. This
Sorry.
is the one item in that report that concerns me greatly. That, in fact, Councillor Prigmore stated when he read through it, it almost sent him to sleep. I often think this is the whole purpose of doing things like that, is in the hopes that they can slip things through. How on earth you can expect to slip a massive B8 through, I haven't a clue. But it is the number of B8s that they are proposing that is my biggest concern on that one. Thank you.
Thank you. I think everybody's of the same opinion, Councillor Jackson. Right. Thank you. Sorry, does anybody else want to say anything? So I think the vote still stands though, Sandra. Thank you.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Item 15 on the agenda is the boundary hedge and access to the open space to the rear of Bede Close. To consider consultation responses and to agree response to request with regard to the removal of the hedge to the boundary of 10 Bede Close and closure of the access to the open space to the rear of Bede Close. This is on page 31 to 33 in your agenda pack. Right, has anybody got any comments that they wish to make about this proposal? Councillor Jackson.
I'm a little bit, concerned that we are closing off the one actual access from this particular area to a greenway that we are expecting to extend in the next few weeks, or hopefully in the next few weeks, because in a few months, possibly when things open up, you'll get people wanting to get access to the greenway to either go to Kimbolton Road or the opposite way to the Ferrers School, and yet they won't be able to access it only by going down out of their street and into William Steele Way to get access to it. It seems rather ridiculous, but then again, it's a question of whether the residents, if that's what they feel, then it's up to them. They were given the option, so it's up to them.
Councillor Whiting, you'd like to say something?
Yes, thank you, Madam. Dipping me lights.
Mine did as well.
Following the last meeting when I think it was Councillor Thomas suggested a consultation, and the results are pretty overwhelming, aren't they? You know, yes. Do you support the re-establishment of an access area over there? And it's 10 out of 10 saying no. As I commented at the last meeting, this is a silly little piece of land. You wouldn't want people going through there and rubbing against your fence, scratching against your cars, when you can go just round the corner and there's 2 access points from William Steele Way. Complete agreement with the neighbours around there, and I think it should be closed off.
Thank you. Councillor Prigmore.
Interesting to see what anybody else says.
Firstly, as it says in question 2, note there is a potential cost to the council in a region of 700 quid. Let us first start by saying the council pays nothing for this. It is all the residents of Higham Ferries will pay for this for 10 people to have the access closed off. if the access is going to be closed off, there is no public right of way through it, as we've discussed at the last meeting. The council have no part of this either. If the residents wish to close it off, we as a town council cannot stop them. And if the residents wish to close it off, we should just let them close it off and pay for the bill for doing so, not the rest of the residents of Higham Ferris. The town council do not pay, the taxpayers will pay.
Thank you, Councillor Pridmore. Councillor Gardner.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I completely agree with Councillor Whiting and the comments that we made last time. I made some comments last time about crime prevention. There is no reason for these to be removed. If the residents need to close it off, and the residents have filled out the forms, they've done the consultation. The question I have, however, is that I do agree that if the residents want to do this, they should be doing this out of their own funding. But also, who then will upkeep it? How will it be upkept? What will happen? Do the residents then have to keep it in a good state of repair? Whose land will it cross? Will it cross our land? If it crosses our land, is that we have to go through an adoption process to make sure that the upkeep is done correctly and fairly over time? And what implications will that have if they'd like the either side residents want to sell their properties? If there is, it's been closed off. If those things can be ironed out, then I think the residents that it's going to affect need to have it closed off. And I really don't see a reason why not to. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Sandra, can you clarify that for us? Well, if they do close it off, who is responsible for the land? Do we still own that land, or do we not own the land?
We still own the land, so ultimately we're responsible. So in, say, 5 years, 10 years time, the property ownership's changed, somebody doesn't maintain it, the council is still ultimately, if the fence put up, it starts to wear out, like the wooden fences, for example, would, it does come down to the council.
Is there a possibility that we could sell that land to the resident?
It's we've had this before with public open space. They all come with covenants on it, that they are maintained as public open space. And we've had it elsewhere, you end up having to consult everybody who's benefit. It's quite a legal process, which could be quite costly, because we sought advice on it on a piece of land that it was part of a tree bund on the A45 virtually, and we could not sell it to them without consulting the whole estate, because somebody could challenge it because of the covenants in the legal transfer to us.
Right. Okay. Councillor Mantle.
I mean, the other thing is, we have done before, we have given people licenses that are specific to that owner, cannot be transferred, that they look after a small area land, where you've had some very strange because there is some strange anomalies with our public open space, where you can say it's not really public open space because nobody else has access to it. And what we do is they sign a license agreement, and we charge £25 a year, so it keeps it live. But then it has to, if the house is sold, the new owner has to sign another one, so we can make sure the maintenance is kept up, and that will have clauses in it about the maintenance of it.
Okay, but could a new purchaser rescind the closure then? Could they say, no, we don't want it, we want to have access to the greenway here?
Well, that's a difficult. I'm looking at it more from the maintenance point of view. I mean, perhaps there's some measure to try and resolve it that, say, myself and the councillor or Alicia actually meet with the residents and sort of talk through the options and have a look. So we're actually out on site, and so I know there was talk of a fence going up, so we understand where the fence might go, and that sort of thing, and perhaps so the chair of Environment and Rec is probably a good one on that one, because I mean, I just think it's a way forward, because I think you
Yes.
could end up sort of talking about this at meeting after meeting without actually going anywhere. And I think it does actually warrant a site meeting if the council is minded to work with a resident on this to achieve what they would like.
Yeah. Okay. Councillor Mantle, you wanted to say something?
I did. If we've got to maintain it for years to come and got to take care of it and everything, why can't we leave it open so that people can use it? I think it's wrong to shut it off, actually. I mean, there may only be 1 or 2 people using it. I know most of the people wanted it shut, but there may be 1 or 2 children that want to go through that gap. That's my opinion. That's all.
Thank you. Councillor Jackson, did you wish to say something?
All I was just going to point out that you will still have, even if the picket fence goes across, it's going across the front of the section of ground, it's still going to have access from the greenway at the far end. So of course you'll still be able to maintain it, but it's just that you're losing one access to the greenway. That's the only concern I have.
Thank you. Councillor Spencer?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I'd just like to say, personally, I'm always in favour of closing off rat runs, but surely aren't or accesses which are not used, and to rephrase that slightly, negligible use. But getting to the point of maintenance, I mean, surely, bearing in mind what it'd cost to close that, aren't we worrying a little too much? I mean, the cost of maintenance over every few years on that is insignificant compared to a lot of other councils' liabilities, surely.
All right. Thank you, Councillor Spencer. Councillor Prigmore?
It seems to me that we have 2 options here. One is that, well, 3 options, I say 3 options. One, that we vote to close it off completely. 2, that we vote to leave it as it is, and we just do not leave it as an open way. Or 3, we have the environmental chairman, and probably either Alicia or Sandra have a meeting down there. But I think at that point they do need to understand, as Sandra said, that there will be a license potentially, that they will have to pay for it, and they will have to have, if there's any closure that comes off, they would potentially, if the vote goes that way, to pay for the maintenance of it, the closing of it, and all the rest. Now, they seem to me the 3 options that we have got. So sensibility says that in the first place, in order to give the residents the opportunity to discuss it and meet and decide what the financial liability will be, is that I would propose that we go for option 3 in the first place, which means a meeting with members of the council and the town clerk with the residents. That was my proposal.
Thank you, Councillor Whiting.
Thank you. I'd like to second that. I think this issue has been going on for some months now, and I think for the residents' point of view and the councils, we all need to draw it to a conclusion. Yes, I'm in favour of shutting it off, but I realise that there are, objections receiving that and complications. So I'd like to second Councillor Prigmore's proposal that we leave it to either the town clerk, the assistant town clerk, and the chair of environmental record. I think it's frozen at the moment. I'm getting a strange face on there and it's not moving. So I'll second it.
Okay.
Sorry, can I just have a combination? The
proposal's on the table.
But yeah, I just want to make sure that my proposal is correct. That they have a meeting with the residents, and it then comes back to the full council for discussion. Is that what your understanding is, Councillor Whiting?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. As long as it's understood. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with that.
The only thing we can say is actually they have been consulted already, but at least they're actually, and the result of the consultation was sort of quite unanimous in what they want. But I suppose if they sort of get around a table and talk about it, then they'll be under no misdirection of actually what might happen in the future. So yes, I think
what I'm trying to say is if we meet on site, we could go, we want a fence here, and we can be very clear what they really want and what they want really happy with, and perhaps we can negotiate and come back with a recommendation to council.
Right, okay.
And so potentially they understand there's a cost implication in it.
Yeah.
Because that was not in the proposal at all, in the consultation. No talk of cost other than the council paying for it.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So do you want to reword your proposal, Councillor Prigmore, to include that?
I'm happy for it just to come back to council and we can discuss it from there. I'm sure that the town clerk is fully aware that she needs to discuss, because she's been talking about licenses and all the rest of it and maintenance.
Okay, so the proposal stands as you said it.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's been seconded by Councillor Whiting. So all those in favour, would you please show your hand? Right, thank you. Anybody against? Anybody abstaining? Right, thank you. Welcome back, Councillor Smithers.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, I had to take a really important phone call from one of the MPs, sorry.
Okay, we'll let you on. All right, item 16 on the agenda is the Town Working Party to receive and note the minutes of the Town Working Party held on the 27th of January 2021, which is on pages 34 to 36 in your agenda pack. And Councillor Gardner, you're going to present these minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Yes, we will take you straight to item number 3, and that is the update on the app. And this, that ENC's funding has been secured now for the Hynd Ferries app for the first 12 months, alongside the nearby towns that are also partaking. Raunds have now launched their app and they've had really good uptake and feedback so far, so that is super encouraging. The aim is to have this launched by March, so it is online, and it's really good that staff are going to get trained so they can do the updates involved. Item number 4. Now this is about the film and the promotion of Hynd Ferries. The cost is looking to be about 2,500, with around 1,700 of that proposed coming from the Rushden Lakes and Crown Estate fundings. And it has been agreed that at the moment, things need to be put on hold. Obviously, we have COVID, but the weather has not been kind to us, and it is going to make a pretty miserable film with the snow and the wind and the rain. So this has been put on hold now until the early summer, when we can make the most of our fantastic heritage and make that look good on film. The audio trails and the scripts for that have been approved, and they are all near completion. Item number 5. Now that's the reopening of the High Street. We had a huge success with our Facebook and our web campaign of Welcome Back, where the Mayor went round to the local businesses. And it has been suggested that we do like an interview series this time. So we're still connecting, it will still be COVID secure. We're thinking of a podcast. This will be probably done over Zoom on an interview basis to make sure that we do not interrupt their business. It could be done in the evening. It also gives the business holders the time, and then we can air that so an interview can take place. Number 6 is the farmers market. We have been encouraging our attendees to wear masks. We know that it's an outdoor event, but we all need to be super safe. We have one-way system and hand sanitizers on the entrance, and we have marshals to make sure that the one-way system and entrance and exits. We had nobody refuse to wear face masks, and we had a box of face masks there, so if somebody didn't have a face mask with them, they were offered a face mask. Everybody was super friendly. We have had nothing but really positive comments, and like to thank all of the councillors that come out, mainly in the cold wind and rain at the moment, and we are monitoring people queuing. Sometimes we get a big queue, and they're encouraged to keep moving and not gather as a social event. Item number 7 is the business survey. That gave us quite a bit of insight, and that was really interesting, actually. And as we did pre-COVID, before COVID came along, we had a business breakfast where everybody was invited to join. And at the time, Councillor Pridmore hosted that. And we think about doing something very similar, only this time in Zoomland, to make sure, obviously, that is all nice and safe and secure. And Greg McDonald has been a massive source of help and information. The unit at Rushton Lakes, this is number 8. At the time, yes, we were going to go ahead with that, but unfortunately, again, due to COVID and due to the restrictions, and the unit itself is quite small, and we were only going to be allowed 5 people in there at a time. So at the moment, yes, that's been put on hold, but as dear Boris is letting us off the handle and letting us go for a little while in the summer, perhaps we can think about how we can promote Higham at Rushton Lakes once again in the future. We're thinking about doing an Easter competition around some suggestions we've had just in time for the Easter holidays for the children. And the competition, specifically with the Christmas one, was a great success. And it's really good that we've had a really good uptake with competitions now reverting to SurveyMonkey and online. And we only had 1 paper entrance over the Christmas. So that really goes to show how quick and how adept our community are, and they're still willing to get involved, even if it is virtually. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I'm not sure if Councillor Rourke wanted to say something.
Yes. Yes, sorry, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just, Madam Chairman, just going back to farmers market masks. Yes,
yes.
You say there was nobody refused to wear a mask, but I did have one who did refuse to wear a mask and would not wear a mask, and had a, well, I wouldn't say confrontation. He was very confrontational to me, but he refused to wear a mask. So I just thought I'd just put for the record straight on that one.
Okay, thank you very much. Can I ask Councillor O'Rourke how you dealt with that?
Yeah, I asked him if he could wear a mask, and he said no, you don't have to wear a mask. It's outside. It's outside. So he was went to another stall, or went to a stall. So I then said to him, look, sorry, we don't want any, but and then I just said, we're trying to encourage people to wear masks, and he said, I don't want to wear a mask. I don't have to wear a mask. I don't need you to tell me, and I don't want this and I don't want that. And he stormed off. So
thank you very much.
That was it, really. I mean, really.
Thank you. Councillor Whiting, sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to second that. I was there with Chris when it happened, as was Councillor Paul. Councillor Paul was quite disgusted with the way that Chris was spoken to. It was a tall guy. He stormed through the market and he stormed out again. In fact, we thought he was going to come out the same way as he went in, but he did go out the exit. But he was very aggressive. I will say that. But it was only one.
There's no need.
But that was the only one anyway.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Jackson.
Wouldn't it be sensible to have a word with all the stall holders, because they had the right to refuse to serve people? So therefore, if you feel strongly about this, then the sensible thing is to have a word with stall holders, and if they're agreeable, then they can agree not to serve anybody without a face mask on. That solves the problem, doesn't it? Because if he can't get a purchase, then there is no purpose in him being there. Thank you.
Did you want to comment on that?
I just we can't insist on it outside. If it was in a shop,
No.
it would be different, but we can't outside. It is only guidance. And as you say, most people were more than happy. And some already came to the market with the masks on
Yeah.
anyway.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was just an isolated case, but it's just one that might occur again. Who knows?
Thank you. If there's no other questions, can I move adoption of these minutes, please?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Can I have a show of hands? Thank you. I've stopped taking over now, Madam Mayor. Back to you.
That's all right. I'll wake up now. Right, item 17 on the agenda is the Christmas Sparkle 2021. 17.1 is to receive and note the minutes of the Christmas Sparkle Working Party, which was held on the 10th of February 2021, and it's pages 37 to 39 in your agenda pack. So can I propose that we receive the minutes, please? Can I have a seconder for that? And all those in favour, would you please show hands? Right, thank you. 70.2 is to agree that the Christmas Sparkle is scheduled to be held on the 20th of November 2021. Let's hope. The framework of the event, the same as originally planned for 2022, which was slightly different to what we've done it in the past. Normally we have had the continental market, but we decided for 2020 that we were actually going to have the stalls ourselves instead. So instead of having like a middleman, that we would actually be doing getting the continental market type stores ourselves, mostly because we would be sure then who was going to turn up, which we haven't had that assurance in the past with the continental market as it was. So can we agree to the date of the 20th of November 2021? So can I propose then that the date for the Christmas Sparkle is the 20th of November? Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Rourke. And all those in favour, could you please show hands? Thank you. I'd like you to all put the date in your diary now. 17.3 is to delegate authority to the town clerk to incur expenditure for the Christmas Sparkle within the budget. So could I propose that we delegate authority to the town clerk? Can I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Whiting. And all those in favour, would you please show hands? Right, thank you. And 17.4, to delegate authority to the town clerk to agree sponsorship arrangements in conjunction with the working party. So can I propose that we delegate more authority to the town clerk? Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Gardner. And all those in favour, would you please show hands? Thank you. That's everybody. 17.5, to agree stall pitch fees and criteria for selection for stall holders as follows. I'm not going to read those out because you've all got it in front of you. Is there any comment anybody wishes to make about the stall and the charging?
No.
In that case, can I propose that we agree to the stall pitch fees and the criteria for selection for stall holders? Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor O'Rourke. And all those in favour, would you please show hands? Right, thank you. Councillor Prigmore, did you vote in favour there? Right, thank you. Right. Item 18 on our agenda is the closure of meeting to the public and press. To resolve that in accordance with section 1.2 of the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960, and by reason of the confidential nature of the following items of business, the press and public be excluded from the meeting. Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Prigmore. And all those in favour, would you please show hands?